gentlemen.
We saw last game, Montana Yamato again for the battleships. Des Moines, a triple Des Moines, goodness gracious, and a Salem. So I guess technically 4 Des Moines there, Zaf. That is a whole lot of America on that team, fronted by 2 Shimikazes and a Harugamo.
Yeah, so, that kind of comp makes me think that they're going to hold places and force XPN to push wherever they want to defend, essentially, right?
Yeah, with that much radar.
Now, XPN is bringing an Ohio and a Conqueror.
Interesting.
Salem, Venezia, Moskva, and Nevsky for cruisers, followed up by a Gearing, Daring, and a Ragnar. By the way, we should also mention both Shimikazes on the BONKS team, 20-kilometer torpedoes. So, seeing the Conqueror, seeing Nevsky, in a sense seeing Moskva, makes me think that XPN is choosing to go for more of a farm strat, more of an anti-static kind of a sieging strategy here. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. The lineup's definitely, you can tell that each team's coming in with a different take on the map. And you're also seeing that out of the early deployment as BONKS is completely looking at the BCAP and saying, nah, not interested. They're sending Yamato, Des Moines, and Shimikaze up to kind of loosely fight over A. The remaining 6 ships all moving directly down the 8 line towards the CCAP.
Yep.
And I think what we're seeing here is a little bit of acknowledgement of the fact that, moving from B to C is generally pretty challenging, but defending the CCAP, if you hold that line of islands, is actually, I won't say it's child's play, but it's much, much easier.
Absolutely, and it's almost similar to the playbook from last game, too.
Yeah.
BONKS putting most of their assets on one side of the map, making sure that they win it. Now, this time the Daring is going to be able to grab BCAP pretty much unabated. There's no radars or anything, because these are American radars that only reach, 10 kilometers?
10 kilometers, right. And the Daring is just outside of Arch Zero's Des Moines. He's the only Des Moines that might have had a shot, but there's over a kilometer there, so he can't pick up the Daring there.
I don't think they're even bothering to try. Like, nobody even looked in that direction.
They don't seem interested, honestly.
Right?
Now, looking at XPN, BONKS has gone for a 6-3 split, right?
Yep.
Six ships going to C, 3 going to A.
Yep.
Of course, XPN's gone for a much more traditional, basically a
4-4-1
4-4-1 split. 4 ships south, 4 ships north, Daring to the mid, and then it's gonna depend a little bit. I think they'll be able to call that Daring to whichever side of the cap they want.
Ooh.
Arch Zero taking a good salvo there from Vigi Rebs' Moskva.
Yeah, that was a very nice shot, and he's actually going to beach here. But it looks like Arch Zero is no longer detected, which is unfortunate. Might have seen some battleship. You can see it looks like the Ohio is playing up, ready to go for that shot, and it's not going to come.
He just took a solid hit, I'm guessing, from the Montana as well. He's returning fire right now.
Yep.
Ball and shells going down range looking for America's Montana. I love just that. Saying that together just makes me giggle. He doesn't get nearly as good a hit on the Montana as the Montana got on him.
It looked better than it was.
Indeed. Now, if you have a look up at A, the forces at A are a little more even. I mean, if you're looking at basically a 4-3 fight up here.
Right.
And so Glacial's gearing, kind of working the edge of the cap there, pushing Dyer's Shimikaze off briefly. But you wonder how long that's going to hold. Yimmy's Conqueror is going to take at least one of these Shimikaze torps right on the belt.
I'm curious about Glacial smoke there. That might have been a knee-jerk, I got spotted, I have to smoke reaction.
Maybe, but behind him, moving up the one line, is Butters' Venezia.
Right.
It's possible that it is an intentional play to maybe allow the Venezia to sneak closer to the cap without the Yamato having a good line of sight on him.
That's true. The Venezia is not shooting right now.
Nope. Playing well back as some of these gearing torps are going in on Dyer now.
Oh, boy.
Oh, very close. He's going to have to thread the needle here. He's got 2 more coming in, but he's got it.
He's good. Close dodging there.
Really well-predicted torpedoes from Glacial. Just kind of dumped those out, and they almost had a huge impact.
Absolutely. So A is, well, no longer contested. It was for just a moment. Glacial got detected.
Yep, Addie's Des Moines got his radar up on the top end of the cap.
Right. So Glacial's going to be forced to kind of back off a bit.
Oof. Now, early on here, 5 minutes gone, it's a bit of a mess for XPN simply because they've kind of gone for this even split, and they've allowed the Bonks sort of weak flank, for lack of a better way to put it, to pick up the A cap and get points off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know this, of course. We have better knowledge of the opposing ship positions than they do, but at the same time, you almost have to think, man, they know they've got to have a sense by now that there's not a lot up here, and yet it's like they're setting up the kite off of both caps, Zach.
Yes. Well, it kind of makes. I mean, it almost looks like both teams are kind of set up to kite. I mean,
at A, it makes way more sense for Bonks to hold that kind of a board position.
Well,
it doesn't make that much sense to me at C. And I'll tell you straight up, if I was XPN, I feel like the daring is being wasted in B right now. I think I'd almost be bringing him more north with the gearing to tag team the Shimakaze that is there now.
Well, so that's the thing, right? You got the B cap. Now what? And I think that's the hard part. You're absolutely right. I would have probably liked to have seen the daring go to the backfield and just terrorize the heck out of either the Yamato or Montana, or both.
Yeah.
He's got the ability to do that, and that would have forced Bonks to then deploy assets to deal with that daring.
Right.
Instead, he's just sitting there looking for opportunities to farm.
So
I don't know.
I think now, having watched their fire coming in, I think I understand a little more about the XPN play here. If you look at Arch Zero's Des Moines, he's quite low.
Oh yeah,
they had good eyes on him. They wanted to keep focusing him out, and I think the intent with keeping the daring there in mid was to give them more opportunities to do that. They tried the conga line torps, that didn't work. Bonks brought back the Shimakaze and smoked Arch Zero out of that position, and it looks like he's going to sneak away on about 10,000 HP.
That's right. So, unfortunately, the result of that is essentially not a whole lot gained for XPN, despite losing a good amount of health. Here's a Salem on the border, just gets whacked, dumpstered from the Montana from downtown.
Goodness gracious, trying to play border games over here, and the Bonks Montana says, no thank you, let's just get rid of you.
Yep. Super heal or not, that's going to hurt.
That first kill comes much quicker in Game 2 than it did in Game 1, only 7.5 minutes in.
XPN might lose another. Nope, Glacial just barely threaded those torpedoes.
Yeah, but he's under the eye right now. Addy's radar up on the 2 line got him lit.
That's right.
Lots of shells coming in, Yamato shells, Shimakaze shells. Everybody's looking for a piece of this gearing, and he's getting very low here.
2,000 health. 1,000.
He is finally dark again, no longer detected.
All right, well, now his adrenaline rush is pretty much activated.
Pretty much. He has gone for max adrenaline rush there as Butters' Venezia tries to try and help defend his teammate, but hasn't been helping all that much.
Well, if you look at Vigireps' Moskva is also moving up, and the daring has finally gotten out of B. Now it looks like he's looking for that Yamato.
Yeah, I feel like this is not. I like this play from XPN.
Yes.
I feel like it's come a few minutes late.
Well, it's better late than never.
Agreed. Better late than never. They're not out of the game. They can still force a win here. They just got. It's gonna be much harder than it was 5 minutes ago.
Sure. And I mean, as soon as you lose a ship, you immediately have to say, okay, well, what flank was that? We have to try something on the other side, and that's exactly what we're seeing happening here.
Yep. So what began as a fight kind of northeast to southwest is going to quickly swap axes as all of the bonk ships down at sea are going to reorient and kind of try and move towards the middle of the board, as the XPN ships that were in the middle of the board are collapsing north, trying to force the A cap and try and at least stay in the game to maybe force a lead change.
Right. Meanwhile, all the way on the southern flank, you can see that Bonks is now victoriously marching through CCAP and trying to take up positions. I do like the Salem and Des Moines. Both of them, instead of pushing south, they are going towards the middle. They know that this game will be won in the middle, not the south. So they're not going to waste time chasing after the Ohio and the Nevsky. they're going to take more decisive positions. I like this.
Indeed. Vidyarebs' Moskva moving up aggressively, but it's cost him big time now as he's kind of hanging out on the south side of the A cap, getting farmed by both Tomoys. He's literally sitting directly in between Addy and Arch0, who are both farming him without really being counter-spotted. In fact, Vidyarebs has finally gone dark.
The Montana Murica is also shooting in here, getting his shells heard, or felt.
Vigi manages to go dark. He's on about 12,000 health in there. A notable health kind of discrepancy here as XP and Upside down about 40,000, but we're probably only, I don't know what do you think, is that about 60 seconds away from the remaining Bonks forces at sea going to start exerting influence over the middle of the map, and this is only going to get harder from XPN.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Haragumo is online, looks like. Yeah, I mean, hidden stats goes down the Yamato.
XPN bags a kill. That big points they needed. That narrows the gap to about 50 points and closing. They do hold more caps, but they're going to lose this Moskva here in seconds. He's lit again. Lots of different ships farming him. He's on fire. And there he goes.
So he tried to get in there, tried to surprise Shimakaze, get him out there. He accomplished that. Unfortunately, Bonks was able to pivot and take him out.
They did force the Shimakaze off the cap and managed to get some points off of it.
Yep.
And I think now we're seeing, they just decided they're going to go full court press on these guys at the top end of the cap, and then they're going to fight whatever's left behind them. They're going to surrender the B cap, I think. I don't think they can stop it. They don't have a radar in position to do anything about it.
No, I don't think so either.
So XPN's play now is going to be to exterminate Addy and Dyer way up here on the top end of the map. They're bringing Butters' Venezia in very aggressively, as well as the Daring that hung out in the middle of the board.
Right.
Daring's now radar. They know where both ships are.
That's right. So they can prepare for it.
Yep.
The question is, does Dyer have torpedoes ready? He does. Venezia does not have hydroacoustic surge consumable.
Nope. Venezia cannot see these coming. No way to spot them.
Now that he sees the smoke, though, he knows the Shimakaze is there, and he's going to be prepping for torpedoes. The question is, will he be able to dodge those coming in? Nice shot through the smoke.
Takes a blind shot, gets a little bit of chip damage. XPN needs to assassinate these guys very quickly so they can try and reorient to receive this push in the middle of the board.
Look at the Ohio, south of B. He's going down right about now.
Oh.
That's huge.
That is significant.
And Glacial turning in front of a torpedo wall. He'll be okay. Boy, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You feel like they were
Bonks
starting to
losing
get
one of their
something going.
battleships as the Daring torpedoes come in on Addy. They're going to get him.
Yep.
There he goes.
There he goes.
Big kill for XPN. They're not out yet. 7.5 minutes to play here in game 2.
In just moments, we see lots of ships going down as both teams realize it's time.
Well, and
right?
Yimi's Conqueror is now the focus target of a Des Moines, a Harugamo. The Montana shells are coming in. They're trying to drive him into the B cap. The Montana slaps him hard. There goes his fancy heel.
He's done. No more heels left. That's it.
Heels out. That's it.
Looks like we're gonna go 2-0 here.
Looks like it's 60 seconds on the timer. I just don't see a way for XPN to get back into the B cap. They lose Glacial finally, who clung to 1,700 hit points for most of the game.
That's right. And Butters, if only his smoke wasn't obscuring his own vision of Dyer Shimakaze, he might actually have him right here. If only maybe he had a plane too. He could have put the plane up. He's gonna see him right here. There's the shells. There's the kill.
Time extension.
Time extension.
With mere seconds on the clock, Butters with a big kill. He's going to take a torpedo, but it's not going to be enough to put him down.
But then Asherona and the Ragnar between A and B going down right here.
He's caught out by everybody. Look at this.
That'll do it.
Going out. And once again, you're seconds away, and there it is.
Wow.
It's a 2-0 sweep for Bonks, but man, XPN played a much tougher game, I think, that time than they did in game 1.
Oh, absolutely.
What was your? I really liked the flex play that they took those guys in mid, the Moskva, the Daring, and they said, okay, that's it. This is not working. Let's go to A. Let's end things at A.
Yeah.
And then get on top of it.
So in my opinion, there's two things to keep in mind with the flex play, right? One is it's a flex play for a reason, right? It allows you to relocate assets as you need to. But the problem with that is you lose the initiative. You are dependent on the enemy team to essentially show their hand, and then you have to try to find a way to get back and to react accordingly. You lose precious time in doing that, and you have to be able to react quickly with one of these things. And I think that was the biggest problem with XPN. They weren't able to react fast enough once they realized Bonks' hand.
Yeah, yeah. I agree, and I got to really tip my hat to Addy and Dyer there at the top end of the map, knowing that, like, this is it. We're going to die, but our job at this point is to prolong it as long as possible.
That's right.
Every point of damage that we can inflict is just that much more benefit to our team. They held out a long time. It works out. Bonks gets the win. A 2-0 victory, and now we got to go look for another game. So let's throw it back to our commentating desk in the studio, and we'll see you guys again in a few minutes.